What's good, Flipside fam? Welcome back to episode 6 of the Flipside Music Podcast. I'm your host, MattyFlip, and in today's episode, we're talking about some of the unsung heroes of the music industry, the curators, the hustlers, and the believers. From college radio rejections to pandemic layoffs, today's guest turned his adversity into fuel when the pandemic left him a stay-at-home dad. He built a literal studio in his basement, launched a digital radio station, and started live streaming on TikTok to give unsigned artists an actual shot at radio airplay. Today, I'd like you to meet Biggie, the Minneapolis radio host, TikTok tastemaker, and founder of CTVRadio, who spent over a decade fighting to amplify and advocate for independent artists through his platform. In today's episode, he shares how he illicitly introduced indie talent into terrestrial radio and why he's obsessed with advocating for independent artists, and the chaos behind live streaming in an era where one wrong lyric can get you banned. This is a story about hustle, fatherhood, and refusing to let corporate playlists drown out the raw talent. This is the Flipside Music Podcast. Well, I just wanted to say thank you, man, for joining me. Welcome to the Flipside Music Podcast. But yeah, man, I was excited when it was Liette that had actually sent me over to your stream.
That's
Major,
right.
you call her Major
It's because
because you're like, I don't know how to pronounce it.
But I figured it out. I said, okay, I figured it out. It's Liette. I got it.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names too, and I butchered it the first time, and I was just like, I just gave up on I'm like, I don't care if I pronounce it wrong, just yell at me and tell me how to pronounce it so that I don't say it that way next time.
Exactly. We'll get it one day.
Right, man. So you're out in Minneapolis, you said?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Awesome, man. And you work for a terrestrial radio station, right?
I do. I'm with KRSM Radio FM 98.9 in Minneapolis. I just started with them, to be honest with you, man, and it's been a blessing. Other than that, man, I do CTV radio full time, brother. Like that's
your internet radio station, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. So what like how did you get started in radio? I know you said you just started with working with these guys, not I don't know how you said not too long ago, recently.
Yeah,
Um
very recent. Yeah.
what brought you to, I mean, like how'd you get the job? Like I guess I would say like what brought you to like apply for the job, or was it a friend of a friend, or like
No, I wanted to take my expertise to the next level, and also then add more for the independent artists uh, than just internet or digital, right?
right.
I created a space. I've talked to people, and I was like, well, let me run with this digital space for a little bit, and it worked out for a while, and still is working.
So
But I
you've
wanted to
been So you've been doing the digital radio longer than you've been doing the terrestrial radio show.
absolutely, yep.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
So
it's
I was
okay.
confused. So how long has the digital space been going, man? Like how long ago did that start? Like
We're
I guess
probably
I should say this. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started with this whole thing. Like from
a
tell me
whole
kind of like,
kid's movie.
well, yeah, like a little short synopsis, try to shorten it. Don't, go overboard because I got some more questions, but
No problem, man. I
but yeah.
mean, I mean, technically, when we say started off, I've been doing this since college days. So we're talking '06.
So you
I
did
did
college radio.
I did college radio for a while,
Okay.
when I was in college, right? Exactly.
Right,
So,
right, right.
and then I got into the big boy world. World corporate took over, and I ran with that for a very long time. I tried out to do terrestrial radio for a radio station here in Minneapolis a long time ago.
Mhm.
Got declined. It was a big flop, dude. So it kind of hurt my ego on it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I went corporate route, and I was a corporate trainer, in learning development phase of things for a few years, for a while actually.
For
Um,
radio or
No,
oh,
for just
just the
a
corporate
business, a
world
company.
business? Oh,
Yeah,
you got
corporate
you.
world.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
corporate world. Okay, got you.
And then COVID hit.
Mm.
So
That
we're
COVID, man,
corona.
it's so funny because like every time I like it's like when did this start? They're like, oh, it's when COVID hit, and I got it. So yeah, go ahead.
So COVID hit and it brought me home, right? The learning and development space that I was in no longer needed my services. So I was one of those ones that got laid off, which ended up putting me into stay-at-home father mode. So because I have three children, right? I have three girls. I'm with them full time. They are out of school. Their mother is a first responder. She's a nurse. So, I'm at the
Okay,
crib with 24/7. And at this point I'm like, I need outlet. I need to figure this out. What do I
I need
do?
some sort of socialization.
Yeah, we can't because here in Minnesota, I'm not too sure like Jersey,
hmm
but we were locked down and we were locked down hard. We're,
I was in
curfew.
California when all of that happened. I was working as a tech agent. I was just an agent at the time at Staples, and
Mhm,
our store just kept getting shut down and shut down.
mhm.
And they'd be like, "Oh, someone called and said they had COVID," and then like the store would shut down, and then we'd be open the next day. Like they came in overnight and disinfected the whole place. Like I'm like, "Oh,
That
so
part. Weird time to be
losing
alive, right?
hours." Yeah, dude, it was so
Mhm,
fucking crazy, and that's when I got into live streaming as well. Like, not necessarily music. I've been in music my whole life. I was a DJ growing up. My mom was a DJ for 20 years, karaoke DJ, wedding DJ. Um,
mhm,
so yeah, and I grew up in music and entertainment, and I enjoyed DJing for a long time. But when COVID hit, I was just like, oh, so I started hosting like karaoke shows on this platform called You
mhm,
Now. And that's kind
mhm,
of something
mhm.
I was thinking about bringing to maybe TikTok, is trying to host some sort of karaoke session on a live stream, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna work that out yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The
Um,
logistics of it all is crazy.
right. So yeah, you're home all the time with the kids.
Yep. So at this point, I say, how and what can I do? I created three separate podcasts at one point, right? Like I wanted to do a stay-at-home dad podcast with a fellow friend of mine who also was a stay-at-home father. And then then I also had what then was BZ, what is now CTV Radio, used to be BZMC, Biggie and Ziggy's Music Cafe. That was with me and a brother of mine. Him and I put something together where we would just talk about politics, music, and social commentary,
Okay.
right? And then I also had what was called Best Podcast, which is also my business, Best LLC. Being empowered starts today.
hmm
So with all of those things, man, I'm juggling it all. And at this time, this is my first time ever doing podcasting. So I don't know really what I'm doing, but I have
I'm
three
I feel like I'm
platforms.
in the same boat with this. I kind of just started too, man, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get interviews. Like,
That's it. Start somewhere, right? Start
yeah,
somewhere.
man, start
This is
somewhere.
perfect, right? I
I
just do
was
the
so
hit start.
nervous about it for the longest time.
See, that's the thing that I loved is that I wasn't nervous about this part. I wasn't nervous about talking to people because I'm a sociable person anyway. You feel
Yeah.
me? So it made it really easy for me to do it. It was just a matter of like, how do I do it? How do I want it to sound? And what do I do to make it happen? And also do it with a limited budget because I'm not working. Right.
hmm
And I can't pull from the house to do extracurricular at the time, which was extracurricular activity.
Right.
I was like, all right, well, how do I take this business that I had that was doing something else while I was in the corporate world and then convert it to what I'm doing now?
Mm.
So that's when I started putting a lot more attention into BZMC, Biggie and Ziggy's Music Cafe, because music was the driving factor, right?
Right.
It's like I'm starting to find all these independent artists in this space that I'm in because I'm looking for it. I'm opening my eyes to it. And that's being my drumming force to really like attack the music industry. Cause it's like I love my favorites, my Jay-Z's, my Big,
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
all those. I love them,
hmm
but it's like I started finding artists that were just to me at that time just as good as they were.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
dude,
it's like,
there's some very talented people out there, and it's just like, how do they break through the noise? And I mean, it takes people who are building communities like you and me,
yeah,
for them to really kind of, and we've got to expand our communities. So we're constantly thinking about how we can bring other people in, not just new artists, but also like new listeners, new fans, new people who are
new
going to be
listeners and
interested
new
in that kind of music,
fans.
too.
Yep.
So that's what led me to kind of, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should start a radio station too. So I was like, kind of, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about that because, um, you said you started off with podcasting,
Mhm.
and now you went from podcasting to digital radio station. So one of my questions was, in your experience, what made you switch from podcasting to radio, or like, did you kind of like just keep it all going at the same time, or was it? I guess what was the challenges and what was the benefits from doing either one? And
Sure.
at the time, what made you make that choice?
What made me make the choice was how I wanted. Okay, so in the time that I was in the corporate world, or before all of this, I was huge into um I forget my name. His name's Sway in the Morning, right?
Yeah,
Sway
I know
Calloway.
Sway. Yeah, I know Sway.
Huge, huge, right? He's
Yeah,
he's a role model of mine, right? In this space. So in that turn, I'm like, I love what Sway in the Morning does. I love how they bring in independent artists. I love how they showcase new songs or music, and I love the way he interviews. So with all of that, I'm like, I want to do that for independent artists. That's my goal. I want to create something that is just as big as mainstream as it is for Sway Calloway as it is for me over here with independent artists. So from there, I thrive to say, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. And I made that switch, and I made the switch to say, all right, I'm gonna search for nothing but independent artists to put their music on display, and
and where's the
have
best place
nothing.
to do that?
Mhm. And I stumbled upon TikTok, right? So here's the thing.
Yeah,
I didn't have that yet, like that mindset yet when I
yeah.
found TikTok. When I found the social media, I still was just playing it, right? I was on apps called Station Head. I was on apps called like what
Station
not called
hand. What?
Facebook.
So
Oh yeah.
what's station hand?
Ooh, brother. So Station Head is something that's phenomenal
It's station
for
head.
Station Head. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
One word, station head. It's meant for people that want to do talk radio and radio. Okay. What's so amazing about it is you can play any song that you want or play independent artists. However, for people to listen, they have to have uh, um, premium Apple and premium Spotify to
Hmm.
listen, and it hooks to the app. So whenever I play a song, it pulls it from the native phone itself,
So
music
I
source,
get
and
it.
plays
So
it.
they're licensing it to you for your podcast because it's going through their platform essentially, right?
That part. So I didn't have to worry about licensing and all of that kind of stuff. I could play
That's
whatever I want
interesting. Okay.
because it's pulling from the native app. It's from the native app you're using when you sign in, because you're going to log in with either Spotify or Apple premium service.
It's like it's using their embedded player there, so it's not
Yeah,
leaving their platform technically. And then you're taking Spotify and wherever you're going to put that on your website or whatever is the spot. It's still the Spotify player, so they still own
right.
that music. That's
That part.
interesting.
So
Ah,
here's the dope aspect about it for like independent artists.
station head. I gotta write it down.
Whatever song I play and how many ever users are in my room at the time, you get that many spins. So, say for
Wait.
instance,
Repeat that. So,
I'm about to. So, for independent artists solely, which also
mhm,
and also mainstream artists, how many ever people are in your room? Let's say we have this was the room and we had 15 people in this room,
right.
and we all respectfully had Apple or Spotify, whatever that may look like.
Hmm.
One play will get an independent artist or an artist 15 spins on that DSP for that artist. That makes sense?
Hmm.
So we're
Okay.
in here now. I play Liet Major whatever song she has out, and we got
Right.
15 people in here, that one song will then have 15 spins respectfully to the DSPs that were in the room. Let's say
Right.
it's all Apple.
Right.
One spin gives her 15 spins on Apple.
Because we're all sitting. It's like a watch party. Like if we were sitting there watching Netflix, like on a watch party, or Amazon Prime. But you're listening, so it's counting each person in the room as one spin in it on its own, as if they're going to the app itself.
because
That's
because it's pulling the native um radio or the native music app that you signed up with.
right.
You get
So
it from your phone,
it's pulling it from
your phone.
whatever whoever the listener's listening to it on. Yeah.
Yes,
But it's both
yes,
going to Spotify and Apple, but they're
yeah,
just for the premium services.
yes.
Got you. Okay. Huh.
So when I found that, I said this is amazing. But just like Instagram or Facebook, you don't get pushed out to just anybody. The algorithm isn't there. You have to build that algorithm. So now
There's not a lot of discoverability, so you have to go network and go comment on other people's stuff. I'm
that part.
guessing, or okay.
Yep. So I got to comment. I got to tell
Community
other people.
engagement.
I got to tell you to download the app to come on over. And you know how hard it is to get somebody to get into a whole new app.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I mean, Wes, I have that. I literally have that problem with one of my artists. You saw Kanye East, right? So Kanye East is one of my artists. His name is Mike. He's a
Yep.
really cool dude, anime nerd, video game guy. Like he's chill, but he plays this character Kanye East, and he does this thing called Wrap Your Comments, and all of the viewers that come, all his fans that come in there, they say the most absurd shit in the chat,
Mm.
like off the wall, and it's almost as if they it's a game for them, and they're trying to get him banned, because every time he does this, he gets into, like, I've sat next to him and watched him do this 100 times, and he gets in this zone, and he just reads whatever's in the chat, and if TikTok doesn't get rid of it, then he still reads it. Like, it doesn't matter if
Wow.
it's and it gets him banned. So he ends up
Yep.
getting banned for like a week, or sometimes they give it back to him in a couple hours or 24 hours. But like, it continues to get him banned, and those are technically still red flags on his TikTok account when he
100%.
and even though it doesn't show in his, like, warnings or anything like that, like it disappears.
Oh, they took note of it. Yeah.
I worked for I was with an agency, and I talked to the agency heads, who asked the TikTok people, their manager or whatever, and they said, oh yeah, no, we can go back and see these little parts in here, and there's little
Uh,
flags when you say fuck and shit, and
all of that. What agency were you in?
so I'm like, all right, well, but yeah, so like, it's difficult, because you can only control it so much. Like, we've put in like ban words and stuff like that, and I don't even know what else we can do at this
It
point.
doesn't
But
work, though.
he tried to get him to go to Discord, tried to get him to go to YouTube, tried to get him to go to another platform. That's what we were just talking about, was trying to get someone to go to another platform,
Another
and
app.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
nearly impossible, bro. Like,
100%. And then get used to that app, which is hard, right?
mm-hmm,
So that's where I ran into the struggle. And then I happened to come across YouTube, not YouTube, but TikTok. And once I got on TikTok, it was like, oh boy, this is exactly what we're talking about. I found a couple people that showed me how it worked. I got my
mm-hmm,
numbers up. At the time, this is when they were doing their growth party. So I got to
mm-hmm,
my 1,000. Once I got to my 1,000, I said, now I get to go live. Let's figure this out. And while I'm trying to go live, I'm still figuring out equipment, right? Because what's
mm-hmm.
important to me is sound. I want to make sure my voice and my music come through as if you're listening to it on your phone. I don't want it to sound like you are listening to it.
Off a
Um,
speaker through your microphone.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I know
Right.
what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm coming through
I'm
crystal
the
clear.
same way. I'm like, no, no, I'll put it in my headphones. I'll just put it really, like, I have some little lo-fi playing in the background right now. You can't hear it.
Mhm.
Nobody else can hear it, but I can hear it.
Right,
Like,
right, 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 right. Nope. So I was like, I was dedicated to that. So I'm like, how do I do this? I'm buying switchers, I'm buying boards, I'm buying all the stuff that TikTok is showing. I then went from China to the best, and that's where I kind of stopped at right now. I have the without being like an audio mixer, like high end into like studio type stuff. I
Yeah.
went with the best of the best for podcasting before they start adding all the newer things, right?
Hmm.
So I made the investment and said I'm gonna jump in and get the Rodecaster Pro. I sold a bunch of
Yeah. The
stuff,
Rodecaster's nice.
and it's top of the top
Hmm.
for podcasting and for best sound. That's what I went with,
Oh yeah.
and then from there we continue the conversation of how do I get into the radio? How do I transition from podcasting to this? I had to tell all this part just to say, well, from there, TikTok forced my hand because I only played music and I played it to the request of people. People come in, we had a vibe. My
Hmm.
my charisma, my wit, my charm is what
Yeah,
kept
man.
people.
You
What
got a good
continued to
character
keep
about you,
people.
man. That's what came
Exactly. Right, right.
when
I think I know that.
Liette was like, "This guy's got good vibes. You should come by." I was like, I'm gonna come by and check it out. All right." Like, I was like, you know what? This dude does have some good vibes. Oh shit, he works for radio. That's cool. Like,
Thank you.
I want to talk to this guy because I was already thinking about it because I was all over the place when I got into social media. Like when I started
Mhm.
live streaming on that, like I said, that platform, I was the tech guy. I was going and helping people set up OBS and all their streaming stuff and using like Voice Meter as their digital like mixing board and stuff like that, and setting all that. I would remote connect to some of these people's computers and just set it up for them.
Do it.
So I was
Right.
the tech guy, and I got partnered on the platform, and then like things went south with the people who owned it. They had to sell it to somebody else, and I was like, I don't want any part of this, and I left, and I went to Twitch, and then I found TikTok shortly after that, and I started doing like 3D printing stuff. I was doing skits. I was trying to figure out what to do, and I
Mhm.
didn't know what to do at all until I met Mike, and Mike was doing like skits and music and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I want to get back into music again. I had been out of like the DJ world for like 7 or 8 years probably.
For sure.
Just doing corporate stuff, kind of freelancing. I did TaskRabbit for a while, putting together furniture and stuff. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just like, And then Mike reached out to me because he saw I'd edited some some like funny commercials for a friend of mine, and
Word.
he was like, "Oh, you edit videos? You want to edit videos for me?" I was like, yeah, dude, sure." And yeah, it kind of just grew from there. Then my friend DZ, I also met through you now. He's also another music artist. He encouraged me to go to start managing Mike when Mike asked me. I was
That's
like, "Oh,
right.
let me go talk to DZ. Like DZ's my dude. He's been in the music industry for a long time. Let me see what he thinks about it." And he was just like, "Go for it, man. You know,
Right.
you'd be perfect for that." Like so I did it for like a year and a half, and then lo and behold, like this past year he started his label. And he has a couple artists under it. He's got like 4 artists right now, I think.
Hmm.
And he asked me to come on board and help him manage his artists, man. So I go around to different music reviews. I try to find radio stations and submit it to the music directors.
Yep.
I'm writing emails, and helping them manage their projects and getting them out on time, making sure we're on schedule with everything. Um, Sync licensing is
Um,
another thing that I'm trying to get them into, man. I recently found a platform called Artist Portal. Artist
hmm
Portal is it's a sync platform. They also have a music collaboration platform where you can network with other producers, vocalists, musicians to like put together songs, to put together tracks. So if
Oh,
you
that's
need like
crazy. That's dope.
so they have a huge network on there, but it's part of their premium service. So it's like 14.99 a month for that. But with the premium service, they give you sync opportunities, right? So I get emails from them saying, I need a rock artist, I need this, I need that, right? Um, if you don't pay for the premium, you can only submit one song to each opportunity. If you pay for the premium, you can submit all of your songs if you wanted to. I believe,
That's good.
or up to 5, I think, or something like that. I forget.
That's highly worth it. Highly worth it.
But yeah, for $15 a month to be able to I mean, it depends on what kind of music you're making, how often you're making new music, and because like not everything in there, like right now they want like a hair metal band, and I'm like, I don't know anybody who's a hair metal band. Like
Mm.
um
I mean,
So
so the
that's
hustle, bro. Like, have you ever thought about the hustle being you be the person, right? So you pay the premium, offset it with getting the artist, and you get several
so
different
the
artists.
the way it worked, I talked to the guy who started the platform. So I talked to him on the phone, and he was really cool. He gave me an affiliate account, but when I talked to him, because like that was the only way to do it, because I wanted to find out if there was a like a manager like account that I could create. There was no option for me to be a manager. The artist actually had to sign up themselves. So
Oh,
what I had to do is I had to go to each one of my artists and I had to say, "Hey, you have to go create an account and give me the logins for it so I can submit it
right.
for you, or you could go in there and do it yourself. But you need to make this account in order for us to do this." It's partnered with TuneEdge, so they have you can submit like your portfolio to it, which is just your private portfolio, and you can submit that to opportunities. And some of the opportunities are require the tracks to go through TuneEdge. Now, TuneEdge is a music library that
Mhm.
like that licenses stuff out, but it's an exclusive library. So once that track is with TuneEdge, it's with
They
TuneEdge
own it.
for
Yeah.
so what I do for a lot of them as well is read and go over contracts too and licenses. So how do you usually prepare for your shows, man? Like how do you like amp yourself up and get all the attitude
Ah,
and everything and swagger going, you know?
good question, man. Sometimes I don't, man. Sometimes it's a big pull just because personal life takes toll. But it's a matter of once I'm in there, like once I start.
Hmm.
Once I play the first song, and I don't know what that song may be. I have over, over 25 different playlists that I'm looking at one time. And
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, well, go to this one and this song. And whatever that song emits, it works. Cause I already know it works because I saved it. Like I have it.
Yeah,
It's,
I
it's
saved
not
it
new
for
to
a
me.
reason. I
Right.
mean,
So it works for a reason. But once the first song gets going, once the third person walks in, once the eighth person says what up though,
hmm.
and the ecosystem starts to thrive, and I got two new artists never seen me before, don't know what I do, just know they want to submit their song, and then I walk them through what we have to offer, and I can feel how excited they are because it's like, wow, oh God, oh, you're not just listening to music, like you're giving us
Right,
opportunity. And then when I do
right.
give them feedback and when I crack their code, right? Like when I hear a double entendre and I go, this is what you're trying to say, and they're like, yo, you're good. Or I give feedback and they're like, yo, that's insane. Like the other night I gave some feedback and the guy was like, I was giving the feedback to an artist by the name of Hundy. Hundy had a song that was really short. So I was saying, dog, you can add more to it. And the
Hmm.
guy came in and was like, well, maybe it's for X purpose. I go, I can see what you're saying, but I would want them to add something, like, right? Because it's for radio, you need to be X amount of space for us to like even really play it. He's like,
Hmm.
or it could be like, what do you say? He said it might be in the thought of like Little Nas X, Old Town Road. And
Hmm.
I go, well, Old Town Road is a little different because what they did was, and I go, wait, before I say this, I want to make sure that I'm right. So I pulled up Old Town Road. I
Yeah.
go, well, Old Town Road does a loop. So yes, the
Hmm.
song is a minute and 43 seconds, but if you have it played without it skipping to the next song, you won't notice that it played three times because it's in a time of three verses.
Right.
All
Yep.
right. Like the song
Yep.
is only a
There's
minute and
yeah,
45 seconds.
it's literally only it's 316 bars basically. That's it. Like
Right. So it's a minute and 43 seconds. However, at the end of the song, if you're not paying attention, it loops to the front of the song. So it's perfectly ran to where the end of the song is the beginning of the song. So you don't know that the song has started over again. So
hmm.
it's meant to get more plays. I go, so if he's doing that, and the guy was like, yeah, you're right. Then I seen him follow. I go,
Bro,
yeah,
you could literally put it on loop and it would be seamless. Like you wouldn't even notice
wouldn't even
when
notice,
it
man.
starts or stops.
Right. And what happened was before I did
I'm
it, I
curious if
started,
you could actually do that now. It'd be funny.
I was,
But
I
like,
was explaining
I
to
guess
him.
subconsciously, when you're listening to it, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell because if you're not like looking. If I'm sitting here watching the YouTube meter go across, that's one thing. But when you're listening to the radio, you don't have that.
Nope, you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Right, and what I was like, it's a perfect example. And I go, "This is the song that doesn't end." And I start singing that whole
Hmm.
thing, and I go, "Yeah." I go, it just goes on and on and on. You'll never know
Lamb
when it's.
chop, dude. That was my childhood, man. Showing
But
our
from
age
there,
now, man.
right, exactly, shows days quickly. But no, what it was is for me. That's when I'm into it. That's when
Hmm.
I'm like, you know what, this is amazing. I'm glad I hopped on, and I'm glad I'm started. So I have an excitement for it because I always have an excitement for it because it's always new music. It's always the music I like. It's music I've curated. At this point, I feel like I'm a good music taster. Like I
Hmm.
think that I'm able to find and curate songs that people are gonna fall for and have a no like have a love for it.
Right. So that was going to be one of my connections, or sorry, one of my questions. How do you connect with your audience with on like a platform where people don't necessarily see? But I know you go live on TikTok when you're doing your
Mhm.
show and stuff. Um, but like before, I guess before that, were you doing it? If you were doing it before that, I guess even on
Uh,
the podcast, I guess you could say. But yeah, like how do you connect with your audience like that in that kind of platform?
And that's a really good question because I haven't really done the work for that part. I'm not a post production person. I'm a live person. So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
live content creator, right? There
Mm-hmm.
you have content creators that are really, really good at creating content, like skits and stuff, and they'll
Curated
thrive in
content.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they'll thrive in it. But you put them in a live perspective or a live scenario, they might not thrive as well. They don't know
Mm-mm.
how to keep that ball rolling.
Oh,
And
there's
for
there's
me,
YouTubers and there's live streamers. They're totally different.
totally different. And that's where I thrive at. I
Some
thrive
are
in the
good at
live
both.
space. Right.
You know,
Yeah,
some are
exactly.
good at both, but not everyone.
I thrive in the live space. I thrive in live content. And I'm just good at I've always been good at commonality. I've always been good at having resourceful information right now for whatever we're talking about and being able to relate to it without an issue.
Yeah, like when you're on the radio, I guess when you like say you just played a song and you come back to the radio, like what goes through your mind? How do you come up with what you're gonna say when you come back? Do you have like a script, or is there like a go-to thing that you go to, or
Good question. No, that's from there. It's me having an idea of what I want to do. So I know that I'm gonna talk about the culture, hip hop news, but I don't go into politics or anything or like what's happening here in Minneapolis. I'll
mm-hmm.
talk about I'll talk about more than most social commentary in hip hop news.
Okay.
So I'll have up I get all my news from hiphopdx.com.
Okay. So you'll
Oh,
go to you'll like open that up while when you're in
while
the
the song is
station,
playing,
kind of
figured
scroll
out which one
through.
mhm,
Okay. Okay.
and then I'll
Hmm.
pull it up and then we'll talk about it. So I'll let the conversation start with, all right, this is what happened with uh Ja Rule and 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it, read a little part of the excerpt, and then hop back into a song. Now, when I come back after two or three songs, I'll talk a little bit more about it or briefly bring it up in between from one song to the next. I won't have as long of a break as I did before.
Hmm.
And then when I
Okay.
plan for my next break, now we're probably onto a whole new topic. And now we're talking about maybe something awareness, like whatever month awareness is that we have. And I pick
All right.
to fully talk through that. Now, for those type of things, I'll have a little bit more drawn out segments for talking points, and then that's where I'll have music in the background. I'll have two or three talking points, and then I'll just talk to either personal effect or edification effect, right? Or more from a educational aspect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that, man. That's pretty cool. And I mean, I'm sure. Did you go to school for radio or anything like that,
Not, I did not.
or
Just
like
watching the greats, man. Just listening
just
and watching the greats.
just listening and just diving into the water?
Right. Well, because I mean, if you're around my age, right? I'm 40. If you're around my age, we
I'll be
grew up
36
listening.
at the end of the month here. Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up listening to terrestrial radio, though, right? So I
Yes,
grew up
sir.
listening to me, it was WJLB in Detroit. Bushman was
Z100, Hot 97. Yeah.
that part,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now we're listening to the best of the best, do it whether it's morning, whether it's afternoon rush, whether it's quiet storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get the idea of what the concept is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. This is not.
The
I'm not
format.
doing talk
Yeah,
radio,
yeah.
right? Right. I'm not doing talk radio, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be having full on discussions and not playing any music, but
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not playing all music where there's no interruption, right? So
Right.
I figured out the best format of it. And I watched, all right, so 8-bar intros, right? If people did it right and I know this song and it's an 8-bar intro, I'm able to talk from the end of one song, new song goes into a new song, and I have up till this much time before I got to say my last word, and then that song begins.
Right. You only have so much space in between the
Right.
tracks before you gotta start playing the next one. Yeah.
All right, we're about to give away these tickets to go see Mary J. Blige at the Coliseum. Make sure you tap in with us. Give us a call at 763-212-111-867. This your
Yeah.
boy Hero, and then boom, the song's over. I'm done, and the song starts.
Yeah, man. And you got so you have like a little like timer there that shows you like before. Nope.
No,
You just gotta kind of guess. Like, all right, I'm taking too long. Let's go. Like,
that part I know. It's just I know because I know what songs are set up. I know how songs should be set up if they're radio ready. If they're
gotcha.
radio ready, most songs are gonna, if not all, have 8-bar intros, which is enough time for me to talk over or
Just a
not.
little bit before, yeah, just a little bit before they actually have like the lyrics
Hmm.
start and everything.
Yep.
Gotcha. Interesting. See, I would do the same thing when I was DJing, so that makes sense. Like, yeah, like
Pretty much the same.
I did like weddings and birthday parties and stuff. So like I did a lot of like emceeing for myself too. So I would like set up I would literally set up playlists and go walk out onto the floor and introduce the bride and groom party and all that stuff. So
Yeah, you
like,
know
and
exactly
I
when.
would set up a routine. At one point I had like a little Bluetooth thing that I could click, and it was connected to my computer, and I could hit the button, and it would
And pause it.
it would start the
Oh
next
yeah.
song.
See, that's fire. That's
Bro.
fire.
Yeah, man. I was a tech guy, man. Like I was building computers at like 12 years old. I ended up going to the recycling center and getting computer parts from there and Frankenstein and
I
shit.
love it. Yup, I love it, man. That's
I
a
was like a
that's a
little
trade a
MacGyver,
lot of
man.
people need to know.
Yeah, dude. So how do you feel about like the algorithms and streaming platforms are impacting like radio culture? Like how
Wow, good question.
Mhm.
Oh.
Like I got some good ones, man. I got some good
Hmm.
ones.
It's so radio culture would never leave, right? It's always
Right.
going to be there. Terrestrial radio, really good hosts, really good DJs.
Well, I wouldn't
They're
even
all
say just like audio, like even with like TikTok and like and Twitch and YouTube, and people can live stream on there and host shows as well.
hmm
So I guess yeah, like include those like algorithms as well, because like I guess those the social medias I would consider like algorithms, and then you have your yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: it's evolution, right? You have to
Hmm.
be able to evolve. The thing is that when it comes to what we know for radio, terrestrial radio,
Hmm.
it's I talk, then play music, then there's no talking. No one sees in the background. No one's in the studio with you.
Hmm.
Now with new things like just like how you were, you guys were able to be in the studio with me while we
Hmm.
play the music, right? While the live terrestrial radio, people in their car can listen, but they're not hearing us have a conversation,
Right, right.
right?
When you're talking to the chat, when after you do your little
Absolutely.
spiel, they're not
So
hearing that.
when it comes to streaming, now we're combining the both, but now we're losing out on the listening pleasures of it because I have to continuously talk. Reason being is all social media is consistent engagement for the
Mm.
algorithm to work for you. Any
Attention.
break,
It's attention. That's what
right? Any break in that engagement now rips you from the algorithm and rips you from the people that are there for you, or acquiring new people. Because imagine me taking a break and finally like, "Whoo, I need to stop and just."
Chill for a minute,
And
right?
you
Like
finally swipe into it, and you be like, "What the hell is he doing?" You got 5 seconds.
you're
It's
you're
like,
sitting there
nope,
going like
out of there.
this.
Right, nope, out of there. Right. Or if they come in and they catch the middle of us having this dialogue, and they like, nope, don't even want to catch in on this. I'm already in the middle of it. Right. So
It's like QVC almost. Like you as a live creator, you've gotta be talking or doing something constantly. It's like,
and then it's always repetitive, right? It's always readdressing what the thing is for the new people that walked in. And
mhm.
that could be a lot for the people that's already been there.
If they heard it
Right. So imagine
15
being here for
times,
40 minutes to an
right?
hour.
And they've heard it like 6 times already, and they're like, oh,
I don't, I don't want to
like,
be here much more. Right.
yeah. Can you just get
So
to the next
now,
part?
so
Like,
so now it's like, how do I learn to engage and catch up the people that are new or just not walking in?
right.
And that's what you just got to know, when to do your break, when to pay the bills. And paying the bills is having drops. Paying the bills is having things that reincorporate what's going on here. What are we doing? But the fun part about what we get to do now is that it's not all audio; it's
Hmm.
all it's visual too, right? So if someone pulls up, they'll be able to see on the screen what's going on, whether it's a scrolling ticker, whether it's a lower third, whether it's a banner that's flicking in the corner, right? They get to understand what's going on if they read. If they don't read, then they're missing all. But then that's
Hmm.
when you still, again, take time to go, all right, 10 new people just came in the room.
Nobody
They're,
reads though when they come in. My personal experience, like I
oh
have it
no, mine
scrolling
too,
across
mine
the
too.
screen. I have it in
In
the
your face.
intro. Like it's
Yep,
there like at least 3 times, and they're like,
yeah.
it's like they have like word vomit, and they're like, song.
It's the where do I submit for me, right? It's like everyone knows it's the link in the bio. Why even ask? I get it.
Oh,
It's
that
either an
too. Yeah,
email or the link in the bio, but I digress,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what I mean is that I know once I get 10 new people that not only come in, but say something, I then should do a reset. Right. All right. 10 new people. That was the 10th new person that said hello. Let me do a reset if they're still in the room. Right.
Okay.
Because all right, my numbers were at 13. 10 new people came in, and I've been at a consistent 22. I mean, they stuck around. They might not be
Okay.
saying nothing, but they stuck around. Let me
Yeah.
let them know who I am and what we do.
Yeah, they might not they might be trying to figure it out and
Yep.
are afraid
Yep.
to say something. Yeah, not everybody's talkers, man. I mean, some people just
That
scroll and
part.
listen. I do that sometimes, man. Like, I'm
Man,
still there, and I'll tap on it, but I'm like sitting here listening, doing work and stuff. Like, I try to support my people. And that's the other thing. Like, I like going to like other reviewers, and I find that there's some other people that do reviews that kind of get a little like catty.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I had one really bad experience. And
No.
I will say the dude's name. I don't even care. Rich House Reviews.
no
Mm,
one. No one
my
has a
dude,
good feeling.
soon as he found out I was doing music reviews, he was like, "Get the fuck up out of here. Go do your own. Go do your get it, go." I was like, "All right, dude. I was actually enjoying your show, man, and I was, submitting my artist music to you, but all right, if you don't want me around, I ain't gonna stick around.
I ain't gonna
Sorry."
stick around. Facts.
Yeah, man. But
No,
like I
you know what? I adore Rich, man. Rich is my guy. I know him. I've had conversations with him on and off the platform, and I got a high respect for him. He's just
I mean,
he's
I respect him. I just didn't like the way that he came at me. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna go there anymore. Like,
he does his thing. He does his
yeah,
thing.
he does his thing. I respect him, man. Like, he was honestly he was one of the first people I started going to to kind of like learn to like see what was going on, because it was the first time I had really started seeing it on my For You page, was
Oh,
doing people doing
review.
reviews. I saw
Yeah, yeah.
him and like a handful of other people, and I was like, oh, I could do this, man. Like I do mixing and mastering. I do, I could give him some constructive feedback and some value. I feel like, so I started doing it one day. And then like I was like a week into it, and I went into his reviews one day, and I went to go submit a song, and he was like, get out of here, get out of here. I was like, all right, whatever then. Like,
My bad. Right.
yeah,
Well,
my
'cause here's
bad.
my thing, man. I want to set myself apart, right?
Hmm.
And what I want to do is make sure that we are moving a culture forward and getting exposure for these talented artists.
Hmm.
I get that everyone's getting on and everyone's trying to do the money grab, and
Hmm.
maybe they'll put a playlist together, maybe they won't. But it's just like maybe the person to get their music heard the one time for 25 to 100 listeners. Like that's cool. But
Yeah,
what
dude.
is afterwards? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're getting your music heard by people that are either artists themselves or really bad critiquers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you need to do your research. Just don't be giving your music to anyone to just for them to have a listen to, right? You
Right.
don't want
Like
to spoil the
you
pool.
just spent like what, 20, 30 minutes maybe waiting in line for this person to play your song, for them to say, "Oh, that was cool." And then and then they're done, like,
And then they're done
and
with
they're
it.
just done with it.
You
Yeah,
might
like,
have got it heard in front of 70 people. How many other people's in that room? But like I'm not putting or ragging on anyone at all, and I never will
right.
ever point a finger or say a name. All I'm saying is that if they're an artist as well and their music isn't as good or even close to being nice as yours,
Hmm.
then you might want to like do your research, bro. Because here's the thing, artists art, but at the end of the day there's still a baseline of what frequency should be sounding like,
Yeah.
right? And it has to sound unison. All of your instruments, all of your instrumentation, all of your decibels, all those things have to be at the baseline of what good is.
Hmm.
What is quality, right? You gotta have quality music,
There's
whether it's going on radio or being on someone's project.
Right. There is an industry standard, so to
Yes.
speak, but it's not like something that's like chiseled in stone, that you can like read and be like, this is the industry standard. You have to have an ear for it, and you have to like have been around it enough to understand what the industry is looking for.
Well, no, I disagree with you, Maddie. Like
Oh,
I hear what you're
okay.
saying, but I disagree because when you make a wave or an MP3, it has to be at this highest form of 325 or 320 kilobits. You know what I'm saying? Like it has
Mm-hmm.
to be at the highest form. So that is the standard. If
Mm-hmm.
you are not mixing and mastering that final product at that standard, your music's not gonna sound
Industry.
doable.
Yeah.
It's not gonna sound good. Like it's acceptable. Don't get me wrong. Things are
Mm-hmm.
acceptable,
Right.
but it's not memorable. It's not lasting. It's not gonna be something that I can pick up in 20 years and be like, oh, there it is.
It's not,
That's it,
yeah,
bro.
it's not timeless, right? Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not evergreen, I should say. It's not evergreen. Um,
Right.
where like I could pick this back up and be like, oh, I remember this. Like, and or it has some sort of connection or value to you for some reason. They do, people, I noticed that with certain artists, they can do that through their music. Like Big Sess, I love him. I know you've met him. I
Mhm,
love Big Sess. I
mhm,
love his storytelling. You can connect with him. You can understand what he's saying throughout his music and what his message is. And that's what captivates me. Like I listened to a lot of folk music growing up, and I loved it because
mhm.
of the storytelling and being able to connect to it. um so I mean, that's very important for artists to
Right.
have, not just in the sound but also in their writing too. um
Yeah,
you could sit
absolutely.
here, there's people that come here and just repeat the same word over and over on a track and think that it's
Panda,
going to be
panda,
a
panda, panda, panda.
Panda. I was like, wait a minute, what was that song?
That's right. But like my thing is like I love analogies, man. And my thing is it's like and chicken, like good chicken is good chicken, bro. I mean, there's always gonna be different flavors, but we know that no one's gonna eat or enjoy dry chicken.
No.
Period.
Right.
Period, bro. I don't care what kind of seasonings or whatever you're gonna, you won't enjoy dry chicken. It's not palatable. It's
Yeah.
hard. You're gonna put sauce in it. Even if you dunk it in sauce, if the
You
chicken
gotta
is
make
dry,
it
it's
wet.
still,
You gotta wet it up again.
you gotta. So if you don't have, lack of a better term, wet music,
Hmm.
it's not gonna work. You gotta give it the industry standard of this is where it's at. And then you can put whatever seasonings and flavors on it you want. It can be masala chicken, it can be barbecue chicken, it can be fried chicken, it can be boiled chicken. It can have a little bit of
Hmm.
seasoning, it can have no seasoning, but as long as it's moist, that's the industry standard. So I go
Okay.
again.
I like that analogy. You know, I really do like that analogy. That makes
I'm saying,
ah.
because music is the same way. I don't have to like it. I don't have to
Mhm.
be a rock fan, a folk fan, emo. I don't have to be
I don't like
scream.
big chicken. Like,
Right. But here's the thing.
yeah.
If it
Doesn't mean I don't
sounds,
like chicken though.
I mean, I don't like chicken. But if it sounds audible,
Hmm.
industry standard, it's still palatable. I can still listen to it and be like, this ain't bad. I just don't like it because it's not my taste.
Right. Right. Well,
That's not,
just like the Busy Bone track that I submitted to you, and you,
yeah.
yeah, good track, but yeah, it's just not for you. And that was another thing I had noted that when I was talking to you on your stream, what song artist or mean, I already know the genre because you said that you really liked neo soul. So
Yes.
what song or artist or genre that you'll never get tired of playing? I would say song or artist because I already know the genre.
Right. So it's in the genre. Even if we're talking song,
And
man,
what got you into neo soul, man? Like I
gosh, man, it was just the evolution. I was always into hip hop, but so when neo soul came out, man, it was for a very short time. It was the bridge of kind of like that boom bap and
Mhm.
R&B. Like everyone's big into R&B, but R&B never had a twist to it like it did until neo soul came, because neo soul didn't have to give these ballads and big notes. It gave us a bounce and a flavor to it. It gave us a vibe to it when you think of neo soul. And what I got introduced to from neo soul is Dwele. I would never ever ever get tired of Dwele, and I will never ever get tired of his song Find a Way. Those are two, him and his song are two things that I will always get goosebumps on every time I hear it, no matter what. It reminds me of the smell of summer. It reminds me of the taste of cold beverages. It reminds me of the first time you slide in. Like that's how good that song is to me, from hands down, period, right?
Nice,
But
man.
what makes neo soul so prevalent in my world is that, again, it's the mix of both the cultures of hip hop and R&B all at one, but also you're getting very soulful vibes from it, gospel vibes from it.
Yeah.
These big notes that they can sing, but it just has this rich undertone to it.
Hmm. All right.
Because when you think
I like
neo
that
soul,
answer.
right? Because when you think
I
neo
could
soul,
tell that
you're
you're passionate about it though. Like
oh
when I
man,
heard you
always.
talking about it on the stream, I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask him about that.
Mhm. Because when you look at the ones that I know for sure that's in the neo soul space, you're looking at Jill Scott's, the Angie Stones, the
Mm.
Raphael Sadiq's, the who else? We got Dwele, we have
I don't know half of these names, by the way. I'm gonna
I'm
look them up. I'm gonna look them up after this now, though.
right, exactly. But even then, because they did well with mixing in with hip hop, right? They did
Hmm.
well with mixing in with the neo hip hop era, right? Where people are doing a bit of that slower melodic hip hop. They're not necessarily singing; they're still rapping, but
Yeah.
they're allowing the the flowetries to be in on the course, right? When you get into a Black Thought song or a Roots song with Erica
Roots,
Badu,
yeah. I was gonna say,
right?
is there like a maybe more popular like neo
Yep.
soul artist? I mean, I know the Roots. But yeah,
Right. But the Roots are still hip hop. That's still hip hop all
yeah.
day. But they have songs with neo soul artists, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at, you got a song with them with Roots and Erica Badu. You also got one with Roots and Angie, not Angie Stone, but Jill Scott, right? And then you get into like the men version of it, right? Where you have Avant, you have Jaheim, you'll have like so many, and these are mainstream artists, right?
Right,
That we're
right.
talking about.
For that
But
genre, yeah. They're mainstream artists. A lot
but
of, but yeah.
just it's beautiful music, brother.
That's awesome, man. Um, if you could interview any person, living or dead,
Oh, I
who would it be?
honestly,
Why?
my two, I would have to do two, man. Big. I've always been a huge fan of Christopher Wallace. You know, what I'm saying, Notorious Big.
Yep.
So I would love to do an interview with him, but also just to sit down with Sway Calloway.
Yeah,
I
I
love that.
figured that was gonna be right. I think you were gonna say
Right.
Sway. I was like, is he gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it?
yeah. Sway definitely would be the one because he's sat down with most, if not all of them. But also to see him go, to see his story go from small, radio world to biggest name on MTV, right?
Yeah,
He
dude.
he's the re- he went from radio, and then the main reason that VJs are VJs, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
imagine there was a time that what we do now was already a
You,
thing, right?
it was on MTV. It was we. I talked to another artist about this. He brought it up. I forget which artist it was, but it was
The box.
the
Yep.
box, and you'd have to send your song in. You had to sit there and wait and watch it on TV.
But imagine, right? A VJ. This is a
Bro,
video jockey, video disc jockey.
yup.
We're doing that. We're just live streaming it, and we're on people's phones instead of
And we
TVs.
acting like it's no big deal. This was 15 years ago.
Huge.
This was 15
This
years
is
ago. We didn't have that.
15 years ago, bro.
We didn't have that. That's crazy, dude. It's
Oh, the
nuts, man.
fact that I'm in someone's house, and some people count on me being on a Sunday night doing R&B reset. People count on me or can't wait for me to pull up and they can send me their music, or I'm giving them
Mm-hmm.
opportunities that they've never been able to have before, right? Like, I
Right.
don't get how people think that it's such a small thing, or it is a given thing that I'm able to put them on FM radio. No matter how small or big it is, I'm able to put your song on FM radio.
Right.
There's
That's
no, like,
that's
10 years ago.
absolutely awesome, and that's I after I started doing the podcast. That's the first thing I because the reason why it led me to starting the podcast was like, oh, I'm going to interview artists and give them a platform to talk about their projects or their causes, whatever they want. It doesn't have to be artists; it could be producers, it could be anybody in the music industry, like you. You're a radio host. You're not necessarily an artist. I don't know if you make music or not, but um, yeah, I want to have conversations with people like you so that I can share these episodes with the artists that come to my stream and stuff like that, so that they can
Hmm.
understand and learn from it, because I just I it scared me when my friend, I was like, dude, what happens if you get sued for this? And I'm like, bro, you gotta get this shit in order. I don't want to see you fail, bro. You're my friend, and that's what kind of just, I don't know. I care about the people around me, man. Like,
Exactly.
so.
That's not a bad thing to have. That's a really good thing for you to be, and that's how I am too. And that's why I find success in what I do, is because it's almost from a selfless place
Hmm.
for me to do what I'm doing. I just know that I can make income off of it, and I want to make income off of it. I just
Hmm.
want to make sure I'm doing it the right way, for the right reason, for the right people.
Same,
You
man.
feel me? Like,
Yep.
I'm not here to take advantage of no one. God has given me so many opportunities to be great, and He set me down and reset all of my vision, wiped my taste bud clean of some ill-gotten stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
put me in a space to say, all right, now I'm gonna allow you to operate at your full capacity back in the same places that you had a, some of the bigger struggles in your life. Now I can operate in these spaces with no issues and be able to give back to independent artists, give back to people that are looking to make a way for themselves. I find complete satisfaction in that, bro.
I love it,
Like,
man.
so yeah,
I'm
if I didn't have to make any money and I would do this, I would do it.
same.
But since I'm able to make money, I just want to make enough money. I'm not trying to make all the money. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to rob y'all, nothing like that. I'm just
Right.
trying to make enough money to pay my phone bill, my electricity, my mortgage, feed my children, buy some new shoes every now and again,
Right.
and live comfortable.
I don't need a mansion. Just give me a house on the fucking hill, bro. Like little fucking
I
shit. I don't care. Like just
don't
let
even
me
want
be
the hill.
comfortable. I don't
Right.
need $1 million.
Mm.
But also provide value. But again, you have to provide value, and you do. And that's what I love about the reviewers on TikTok, like you and Love. I don't know if you know who Love is.
I do
Lyrical
know
Unique.
love. Love is dope. Yep.
Love is absolutely awesome. She was one of the first ones that I came across, and I was like, oh, she works for a sync agent. She has a sync agency. She's got a radio
Mm-hmm.
station. Oh, dude, I'm hanging out in here. This is cool, And I started submitting all my artists' music, and she was loving it, and it was great. It was fun, and I would record the sessions too, and I would send it to the artists, my artists,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be like, "Dude, that's so awesome! I love the feedback. Well, thank you so much." And it's on the radio too, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you're on QSL, like." um, and if we could build up enough of a catalog with her, she can submit it for sync licensing through her
That part.
agency, which is huge. And I was like, well, how can I provide value to people, to the artists that are coming through for music reviews? Because I didn't really have um any idea on what I was gonna do when I first started the music reviews. I was just like, oh, let me just do
I'm
this.
gonna do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing, I'm in the music industry. Let me just, I don't talk to other artists anyway. And it was good because I just started working for DZ's label, and we were like, oh, we might want to recruit some artists. So this would be really cool to kind of build a roster, maybe if we could find some cool artists through it. So that was like our first idea with it, and then I've just kind of been trying to come up with other ideas, in the podcast was the next thing, and writing blog
Mhm.
articles, because one of my artists went and got editorial put up on the Source magazine, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I could write a blog article, like and so, like, I'm gonna write a blog article about this episode, and post it on the page and send it to you so you can share it with your friends and your community, man. um
100%.
so, and I do posts, I do promotional posts on on my socials for the episodes. So I try to provide some sort of value to the artists as well. And the radio is the next step for me, man. So that's what I'm starting to get into now. Um
Right.
I do have one last question for you, man. Do you
Absolutely.
have
Absolutely.
any, a cause or projects that you're passionate about that you want to share, and let the listeners know where they can find you and what you got coming up next, man?
Man, again, my cause, my purpose, my push is to get exposure for all independent artists that rock with me, man. I work hard. I find, like we've been talking through most of this, I find value off of my platform for you guys to thrive in. Whether it's me getting you in front of 10,000 plus DJs, 300 FM radio stations across 150 countries, whether it's me working close with several DJ coalitions like PML DJs, Fleet DJs, and also the DJ Coalition, whether it's me working on the radio station at KRSM Radio 98.9 FM here in Minneapolis, We Are Radio, whether it's me having my own radio station on my website at ctvradio.live, whether it's me being the president of independent media for KMHP Digital Radio, which you can also find on kmhpdigitalradio.com. And you can get your music put on there as well. But providing all of these spaces for independent artists that just don't know where to go, how to do it, and what to do. Not only that, we provide consultation. So if you want to know how to beef up your social media presence, how to showcase yourself to where people are going to gravitate to you and hear your music when you have a new project coming out. Walk through what waterfall release is when you're releasing new music, right? Having those kind of consultations and conversations that are going to, again, further your exposure. That's the next project. That's what we're doing. So ultimately, visit the website at ctvradio.live. Again, that's ctvradio.live to see what we got going on. Poke around, click the menu, drop down, get some merch, see the packages that we have available. Subscribe to the platform. It's as low as $3.13 a month. Shout out Detroit. What up, dog?
Go.
You know what I mean? Like it's as low as $3.13 a month, and that unlocks so many possibilities for either an independent artist and or a supporter, right? Getting 25% off of all merch. Which we got some really dope shirts, man. I just put out probably over 25 new shirts, new sweaters, new hoodies. If you want
Hey, I
crop
saw you
top,
post that recently. Nice, man. Yeah, go check
thank
out
you,
the
thank
merch,
you.
guys. Go check out the merch.
Check that out. But if you want crop top shirts, whatever you're looking for, just email or DM me, and I'll get it up within 24 hours for you to get it. If you like a particular shirt, but you want it in a crop top, let me know. I'll put it up on the website. It's super quick and super easy. Great material, great products. And then also again, lastly, let's work together. Let's vibe. Let's make some good music. Let's create some good energy. And then also, come rock with us. My motto is this, man. It's a vibration. Chapter 3, verse 13. Come catch this vibe. You heard? Like it's simple as that.
I love it, man. I love it, bro. Yo, go come catch this vibe with CTV Radio, guys, if I can say it
All
right.
right. Yep. Catch this vibe radio, man. That's all day.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you joining us, man. Uh, Thank you so much for sitting here. I know you were sitting there waiting for her to get out of the recital, but I appreciate you coming and joining us on the
Absolutely.
Flip Side Music Podcast. I'll catch you
Thank you for
guys
having me.
on the flip side.